Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope everyone is in a good condition today. Thank you for being here in our Zoom session to record our video. We are from Group G. This video recording is proposed to present our project idea. Our project title is Smart Walk Through Gate. Before we proceed, I will introduce all my group members first. I am Mardiana binti Dul Haji, followed by Nurul Najiha binti Sayoti. Next is Nurul Afifah binti Azman Shah. After that, Syahinda Hazikah binti Muhammad Saings. Next, Intan Aida Zulaika binti Abdul Aziz. And lastly, Ahmad Naufal bin Tengku Kamaluddin. COVID-19 now is approaching second year. The discovery of the vaccine gives some relief, but in Malaysia seems that it is still far from the target of reaching 80% herd immunity. There is several factors that slow down the vaccination process, such as number of Malaysians, slow rate of vaccine acceptance, and the discovery new variant of COVID-19. Thus, this gives a pressure to Malaysia in accelerating the rate of vaccination to at least 26 million of Malaysians as soon as possible in order to fight with this pandemic. The question is how to achieve it in a short time. So, our group introduced an idea using the concept and principle of electromagnetic wave and invent the device called Smart Walk Through Gate. We believe that this device can be a stepping stone in speed up the vaccination rate and achieve herd immunity in the targeted time. For further knowledge and overview about this idea, I will pass to the next presenter.
So for the problem and solution, so the problem is difficulty to identify people who have been vaccinated, and our solution is smartwatch surrogate are designed to easily recognize people who have been vaccinated. Next.
Okay, so for theory and design, so as you can see here, this is the design of the smart gate. So we implemented two main features in this device, which are light wave emitting lamp and optical sensor. Both features are mainly using the concept and theory in electromagnetic waves and few on concepts of biology. Next.
So how do we detect? So as shown in figure 1, after the vaccination process, the white blood cells will multiply rapidly and produce a large number of antibodies. Next, if level concentration hemoglobin high, they are not vaccinated yet, and if level of concentration hemoglobin low, they are vaccinated. Next. So this is our first features, which is light wave emitting lamp. So we are using UV lights. Next, the watcher gate will emit UV light that covers all of the space inside our system, and it will analyze the colors of people's blood to estimate level of hemoglobin concentration. So next is why we use UVA, because UVA are able to penetrate into the deeper layer of human skin and affect the body tissues and also blood cells. Last one is the wavelength is about 350 nanometer until 400 nanometer. Next.
The second feature is the optical sensor. Optical sensor is capable of contactless detection of biological substances inside humans when they pass through the smart gate. Optical sensor performs the detection and estimation of the white blood cell in humans' blood by emitting UVA light in a range of wavelengths, as stated before. In this device, they consist of emitter and receiver, which are installed opposite to each other to enable the light from the emitter to enter the receiver. When human passes between the emitter and receiver, interrupts the emitted light, it reduces the amount of light that enters the receiver. So this reduction in light and intensity is used to detect the object.
Okay, so this is the design specification for our device. So the target area, our device will be placed in public areas, as we often see that many people are being in crowded places such as the supermarkets and the food and beverage outlets. Next, the function. So our system will be collecting data of people who pass through this smart walk-through gate by detecting the vaccination status of a person. And for the overall size, we will use the measurements on the standard size of a full body scanner available in the market, which is approximately as the measurement stated in the slides. So for the aesthetic appearance, our smart walk-through gate, it comes with a simple design and an LCD screen to directly display the results from the screening test. And for quality assurance, our system will constantly monitor and examined by the engineers to make sure that it is working well at all times to give the best, to give the exact results. So for the safety regulations will be adhered to during the manufacturing process, and professional guidelines from experts will be taken to ensure that people will not be harmed while using this smart gate.
Okay, next will be the results throughout our project. So first, our system is inspired by an application that is developed by engineers and scientists from University of Washington, which is called HEMA app. This app is actually an app that non-invasively screens blood hemoglobin concentration utilizing the cell phone's camera and different lighting sources. It says that when a light source shines through a patient's finger, they will perform a chromatic analysis and the color of the patient's blood to estimate the hemoglobin level. So basically, we are applying the same concept of this app into our system where we detect humans' hemoglobin concentration through an optical sensor as mentioned in section 2 just now. The below one is actually our process flow of smart walk-through gate. As mentioned in design specification, we will put our walk-through gate at public areas, and our system make it easier for the authorities to detect people whether they have been vaccinated or not. So first, in our process flow, it is people walk through the gate for scanning purposes. Next, the optical sensor will be activated and emit UVA light. And next, the ultraviolet rays scan the hemoglobin concentration. And the last one, the system analyzes and display the result on screen.
Okay, so as stated in the theory and design section, for this research, we will implement electromagnetic waves concept by using UV radiation. So to be specific, we have chose to use UVA radiation for our device. So the main reason why we chose to use UVA radiation over the other two types of radiation, which is UVB and UVC, is because UVA radiation, it has a longer wavelength compared to UVB and UVC. So because of these characteristics, UVA is able to penetrate into the deeper layers of our skin, and thus it can affect our body tissues and also blood cells. So this will enable it to detect the white blood cells in our body to read the hemoglobin concentration. So this is supported by the statement of the World Health Organization, where they say that the shorter the wavelength, the more harmful the UV radiation is. So as we refer back to the electromagnetic spectrum diagram, it can be seen that UVA has the longest wavelength compared to UVB and UVC. So it is proven that UVA is the least harmful. And as we can see from the diagram below, the diagram in the slide. So the diagram is actually the absorption and scattering of UV radiation and visible light in our skin. So it can be seen that the radiation coming back from our skin is composed of reflected radiation and also radiation scattered in dermis and epidermis. So from the diagram shown, you can see that UVA radiation has the longest penetration of all, where it can reach our blood cells, blood vessels. Therefore, we can conclude that the main action of UVA takes place in the dermis. So it can reach our blood vessels and read the hemoglobin concentration in the white blood cell.
So for the discussion, our device are able to detect vaccination status of a person instead of showing a vaccination card. Next, it is also to assist and facilitate the detection and collection of individual data of nation regarding vaccination. Next is, since the data gather much faster, it may maximize a vaccine rollout. So last one, shorten the time to achieve COVID-19 vaccination herd immunity. Next.
Okay, for the next slide, the usage of UV rays and optical sensor for the process of detecting vaccination status of a person is because UVA has a wavelength range between 350 nanometer until 400 nanometer, which is longer wavelength than UVB and UVC. Next, it also have a frequency between 8 times 10 power of 14 Hertz to 3 times 10 power of 16 Hertz. Next, the UVA rays will activate an optical sensor will detect biological substance inside human. And next is the system will analyze the level of concentration hemoglobin and display on the screen whether they have been vaccinated or not. Next. So the comparison between our device and the current walk-through gate is our device use a light wave technology, while the current walk-through use a magnetic field. Next, our device used to detect vaccination status, while the current walk-through device is to detect metal. And lastly, our device is efficient for the users since it does not require the person to stop by and show their vaccination card. Next. And last is the immense challenge that we face in this study is, it is new toward the community. Next is, it impossible to determine how accurate the exact outcome will be from the input given. And this study has been exploring a new alternative way to find vaccination status of a person. So with this challenge, we hope to further our study to improve our smart walk-through gate.
Thank you, Naufal. Okay, now I will give a conclusion. Using an optical sensor and light with emitting lamp in this device will give an expected result for our smart walk-through gate. Hence, it can be concluded that this device has the potential to be a medium for detecting those who had been vaccinated or not. Besides, the idea to commercialize it and use in a public area will increase the ability to detect more people at one time, and indirectly the collection of data and information regarding vaccination can be collected immediately. With this capability, if the screened individual has not been vaccinated, then further action can be given directly, such as assisting with a vaccination registration or performing the vaccination process there. Hopefully, with this drastic action, it can be speed up the vaccination process and achieve herd immunity as soon as possible. Okay, now we are at the last slide. We hope that the explanation and overview that have been explained regarding our project ideas are clear and accurate. Hopefully, this idea can help Ministry of Health to speed up this vaccination process. Thank you very much for your time and Assalamualaikum. Hashtag stay at home, hashtag kita jaga kita, hashtag kita belum menang. Thank you very much.